Wow, listen to this. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Another episode on Raj's Garage, and today we are back here at Exotic and Supercar in Southampton to pick up my 355. I bought the car in December, major running issues, gearbox, engine, oil leaks, so many issues. However, when I bought the car, it came with a whole heap of new parts. So the previous owner had spent the last year or so buying new parts because he wanted to go through this journey himself. In the end, I managed to secure the car with all the parts, dropped it here, and Exotic and Supercar have had the engine out. There's been 2 or 3 episodes I've dropped on the channel. There are links below in the description. And I didn't make it easy for them because at the same time, I wanted to add Tubi manifolds, Larini cats, and a Capristo back box. Now I've been told this car sounds the absolute nuts. Let's get into it, guys. Here goes, guys. Ooh, she's looking very clean, very pretty. That's how a 355 should sound. I feel like a little kid at Christmas, you know, even though I've had the car for 8 months, there's something about the lines of a 355 and the way it sounds. Your hairs on the back of your neck just stand up, and that's exactly the feeling I had there. So let me introduce to you Ollie. Ollie,
good to see you.
Good to see you. Ollie is the workshop manager.
Yeah, I guess general manager of trying to organise the day-to-day chaos.
It is chaos, isn't it? I know that. Even from our place, running a business, you know, everyone from the outside looking in thinks it's very silky and smooth, but it's chaotic.
Yeah, the idea is the end product is silky and smooth, but
Correct.
There's always hurdles along the way.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
So, 355. I understand it's been a bit of a challenge because although it has been well looked after by the previous owners, wasn't looked after maybe for the last 2 years of ownership, and it sat around, and you yourself know that's the worst thing for these cars.
Yeah, setting them up never does them the world of good. It's been challenging along the way. We've found a few previous repairs, is probably a right way to put it, where people have been before, maybe not done it quite how we would do it, but the end product we're really happy with. Having road tested the car this morning, the car is stunning. The exhaust is great. I think you're going to love it. So,
well, look, the audience are waiting. I'm waiting. Start it up.
Let's do it.
Let's hear that exhaust properly, and then we'll get Ashley in and we'll talk about all the mechanics and everything that he's had to do to get it to look this good and obviously sound this good. So we're going to start the car up with valves closed. There's a little tag on the keyring which allows you to open and close the valves, which means that I don't have to distress my neighbors out. So we'll start it up with valves closed. Let's go, Ollie. Now, to be fair, even that sounds great, and that's probably better than a stock 355. I've had one previously. I do know how they sound. Open her up. Okay, suddenly the volume has increased and so has that burble. It's really hitting you in your chest. Shall we give it a blip? Whoa! Whoa! Jesus! Oh my God! Do it again! Oh Lord! Now, I think that's what most of you have been waiting for, but don't go anywhere yet. Right, we have Ashley here.
How you doing? You good?
I'm good. I know you are super busy because I've just had a quick peek in your workshop and I can see some of the cars that are lined up here eagerly waiting.
Yeah.
I guess in a way you're glad to see the back of it because it's been sitting on a ramp for a while.
Yeah, it's been a few little obstacles in the way, but it's got to be right.
It's got to be right now.
Delay the car and it'll be right, then give it back.
100%. And to be fair, so let's get into the timescale first. Now, I mentioned the car was dropped here in February. We're now filming in the middle of August. The reason why it's taken so long is because I told Ashley that you can take your time on the car. There was no time frame. It's not, you know, it's not going to a show or anything. And at the same time, they looked after me on the invoice value, and we'll talk about money a little bit later on in the episode. And because of that, they worked on it in between jobs, so they could, just like we do at CAS, when we work on our company cars, we work on them in between customers' cars, because ultimately customers are what pay the bills for the business and so on. So that's why it's taken a little bit longer. Not only did I deliver a car which wasn't running well, which you're familiar with,
Yep.
I delivered you a car with 6 boxes of parts, which,
Goodies, yep.
which in a way is probably good because some parts aren't available.
Yep.
But ultimately it made your life a little bit harder because you had to go through what I delivered and then you work out what you needed to order. Then on top of that, I delivered you 2 exhaust parts, and you then obviously sourced the Tubi manifolds for me.
Yep.
Can you recall everything that you've done? Because some of the viewers now will be watching this for the first time. From getting the engine out, how did you tackle it and what have you done?
Let's start with the mechanical side of it. So we had our engine out, cam belts, cam covers off, recoated. We had the camshafts out to replace the cam seals.
And I've got to say, if you guys just look down there, look at those cam covers. Box fresh.
Yeah, and then we replaced all the coolant pipes that you supplied. We've replaced HT leads, the coil packs. We've had the oil tank refurbished as well. Obviously we've done drive shafts. We've put all the new boots on it, gearbox mounts, engine mounts, Tubi manifolds with wide piece, I believe that's the Larini cat.
Larini cat.
With the Capristo back box.
Correct.
We've done the rear grille. We fixed the window regulator this side, brake pipes, fixed the aircon. Calipers as well.
So the calipers have been refreshed, as you can see. They look brand new. I mean, the whole car, firstly, it's been detailed, and when I owned the car, I washed it once because I couldn't drive it, but you've detailed it, so in the sunlight today, it looks
lovely.
It looks lovely. You open the back and you see the Challenge grille, but you just look at that engine bay, and there's no way anybody would think that this car's done best part of 57,000 miles.
No. So everything you've done has just made it back to how it should be. Obviously, you're going to give it a good shakedown.
Correct.
And you're going to put some miles on it now, hopefully, like enjoy it. Then we're going to come back, have a little reassessment of the car, just because it's had so much work.
And the great thing is now you've tested it in 25 degrees heat.
Yeah.
So I know that you've tested it under pressure, under load.
Yep.
And if I do get stuck in a bit of traffic,
Yep.
I'm not going to be too worried when that water temperature, coolant temperature starts to rise. It's great to know that the
I've road
AC
tested it and Ollie's road tested it as well. So
it's great to know that the AC is running well. I know there were a few challenges with the exhaust setup because obviously you've got 3 different brands.
Yep.
All trying to do a handshake with each other.
Yeah.
And what was your challenge with the exhaust setup?
it was just getting it all to marry up nicely, really. I had a little problem where, you can't actually see it here, but there's a little sleeve just this side that was missing when the car first come in. It was put together with a gasket. Finding that was a task in itself. But it's just getting it right. Like, I look at it and go, that's okay, and I think about it and I'll be like, oh no. And it's just trying to get it all the way from back there, all to line up, and end product is to get the exhaust tailpipes looking right. That's the main bit, getting the tailpipes looking right.
You look at that, they look factory. They look like stepped out, the car's just
come
off the factory line.
Insane.
Yeah, which obviously is far from it. This car's nearly 30 years old. I think this month or next month it actually turns 30. So yeah, it's not bad for a 30-year-old car.
Oh, I think it looks amazing, sounds amazing.
Now, most importantly, guys, Exotic and Supercar based in Southampton. Their details, A, they're on the screen, and B, they're in the description below. Drop them an email, give them a call direct, or drop them a DM on Instagram. Ashley, thank you very much. Thanks for looking after me.
No worries at all.
I'm super excited. I'm going to have a massive grin on my face driving back to CAS. Appreciate that, and I'll see you probably about 4 or 5 weeks when I've done some shakedown miles.
Give it some shakedown and then we'll give it another little go through.
Yep. We'll grab Ollie and we'll talk about money now. As much as I love being out there, this is the part which is probably not the most satisfying because I'm going to be presented with a bill, but I suppose it comes with the territory.
Sure, yeah. And now we know that the car's right. Bill in the folder, photos of the car for every customer.
Let me have a quick scour of that if you don't mind.
Of course.
So I'm just going to go through some of the parts and some of the servicing bits that they've done here. So full service, cam belts, idler tensioner bearings, oil filter, air filters, pollen filters, spark plugs, brake bleed. Then obviously a load of parts that we supplied. We got the manifolds, we got the Capristo, we got the Larini cats, inner CV boots, rear main seal, exhaust clamp, starter motor rebuild, powder coat, rocker covers, spark plug covers, oil tank, rear ARB. Then we've got oil tank, O-ring, seal ring, aluminium rad upgraded, brake calipers painted, exhaust spacers, gaskets, exhaust damper, gearbox output shaft seal, valve controller. Oh, that's for the Capristo.
That's with the
and obviously there's labour on top. That's a fair mouthful of parts and obviously labour.
Sure.
I appreciate you've really looked after me there, and that's because obviously the relationship I have with Nick. But now if I came to you as a customer with the same car and knowing that it's not been well looked after in the last 2 years, what would you typically charge for that level of work?
A lot of the problem with these cars is because they became affordable, people were using them, and then they got squirreled away. So all of a sudden they were, oh no, we'll stop doing that, we'll stop putting the miles on it. And a lot of the time that sitting around is what can cause a lot of these things. So age-related problems with oil hoses and stuff like that, perishing. But now you are where you are, go and enjoy it.
Should be cheaper and easier as well.
Yeah, exactly,
So you've not answered my question though.
You're looking anywhere between 7 to 10 grand, could be more. When you get to this level where we've got everything out, it's a nice place to be because rocker covers, oil tanks, stuff that's showing those age-related things, we can get it all back up to scratch. So you can open that deck and have it looking as it did when it was new. So the possibilities are endless, but I would say between 7 to 10.
And that's obviously without the exhaust manifolds and the Capristo and so on. That's all additional as well.
Additional, yeah, and the controller and stuff like that.
So that gives you an idea of costs. You know, 355s, 348s, they're not the cheapest car to maintain. But as Ollie has said, if you keep on top of the maintenance, then it's fairly, I wouldn't say cheap, but in terms of supercar territory, it's fairly cheap. It's just that initial jump, that initial hurdle that you need to jump over because obviously the costs associated with not driving a car. Right, so I will set you a bill.
Perfect.
I'm going to drive back and I'm going to have a big smile on my face.
Will? Yeah,
shades on, driving back to Cass. Cool. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
So we're a few days on from collecting the car and I've managed to put on about 140 miles, 130 miles, and so far all hunky-dory. At the moment the exhaust valves are closed, so just to give you an idea of what it sounds like, you know, say if you just want to cruise on the motorway or you're in an urban area and you don't want to A, destroy your ears and B, scare everyone around you, you can cruise around like this with the exhaust valves closed. Now let's hit a button. So it's button number 2 on the separate little key fob, and you can see I'm at 40 miles an hour, 3rd gear, and there's a bit of a drone. Now if we drop it down a gear, so I'm in 2nd now, it's a bit of a pop, 4,000 RPM. You can see that note has already changed. There goes a motorbike, and he was going considerably faster than me, including this one here. That's because 2 guys are blocking the right-hand lane now. That's with the exhaust valves open, and I've got to say, you can see by the grin on my face, oh my God, this is what a V8 Ferrari is all about. Should I say a classic V8 Ferrari? Now I know some of the newer Ferraris don't sound anything like this, especially the turbo powered ones, but this just sounds phenomenal. Now before I get into costs and what the plans are and so on, what I'd like you to do while you're listening to this amazing exhaust note is to click on the subscribe button, which is on the screen now. There's a lot of viewers that are watching the content, but you're not subscribed to the channel, and this channel is all about my cars, predominantly classic cars, and about some of my friends and shows and so on. So yeah, if you can, I'd really appreciate it if you can just tap on the subscribe button now. Now, I would have taken the targa roof off and gone for a drive, but I don't think you'll hear me with that noise and all the wind noise and so on. So we've kept the targa roof in place. This manual gated 355 with that Capristo Tubi Larini mongrel of an exhaust is just amazing. Let's drop it down a little. Let's drop it down to second. Just wow, listen to this. Everything is nice and tight. Engine, gearbox, clutch, steering feel. The 355 steering isn't the best, but this is actually pretty good for a 355, and I've driven quite a few 355s. I had one previously, it was an F1 box, and I've got to say this is on par with that car, and that car had many less miles. In fact, it had like 21,000 miles. However, I do feel the suspension does need addressing. The front feels fine. It's quite light, the front, because obviously all the way to the back, but it's the back. The back feels a little bit twitchy, especially when you go over, say, a manhole cover or so on. You can feel the back is just slightly moving. The tyres, although they are 6 years old, there's plenty of tread on them, and we'll talk about wheels and tyres and suspension in a moment. But that exhaust setup, so let me, oh my god, that exhaust setup, let me remind you guys, brand new Tubi manifolds, brand new Larini cats, and finally brand new Capristo Stage 1 back box. The exhaust setup itself would cost the best part of 12-13 grand. I've managed to get a trade discount on both the manifolds and the back box. The Larini cats, the brand new ones, that actually came with the car, so I've done quite well there. It's the way that setup works with this car. The engine and the exhaust just want to keep on shouting, as you can hear there. I'm only at 4,000 RPM, and saying that, that's when this car comes alive. That exhaust note changes at around 4,500 RPM. Above 4,500 RPM, it's just like a tidal wave of noise. And if you're a car guy, if you're petrol head, which hopefully you guys are, you're watching an episode on a 355, you'd understand what I mean. It's what we car guys die for. EV cars just cannot replicate this. Ready? And that was up to 7,500 RPM. It will rev up to 8,500 RPM, and I have bounced it off the rev limiter a couple of times accidentally because I've just got too excited with that noise. So I've been told by Ashley to put on maybe 300 miles on the car and get the car dropped back to them so they could just make sure that everything is nice and tight, because obviously the engine was out, the gearbox was out, the bell housing was off, the rad's been changed. I just want to make sure there's no oil leaks, everything is nice and tight, all the pipes, all the Jubilee clips, everything that they've done. Just want to make sure it's all good for another year or so when I'll take it back to them and then do just a quick oil change just to make sure everything's good. Now, since I've already started driving the car, I just want to ensure that there's a level of security on there. So I've added a global telemetrics smart tracker onto the car. That was done internally by the team at Cardiff Security. Now, earlier in the video I mentioned CAS. CAS is short for Cardiff Security. That's the business I own and run, and that's what really supports my passion for cars. So the next thing for this car, once it's been in fact, I'm going to try and do it before it goes back to Exotic, is to do an audio upgrade. So we'll change the speakers in the door cards. I'm having to shout, guys. So we'll change the speakers in the door cards, tweeters on the dash, we'll add an amp, and we'll add a subwoofer now. In my previous 355, I had a sub in between the seats here, but because this is a Targa, when the roof does come off, it sits behind the seats, so it's very difficult to get a sub box in there. So we're going to build maybe a sub box here underneath the stereo, there's a space there, or maybe in the passenger footwell. That will be documented in a separate episode on the main Car Security YouTube channel. If you are into audio, give those guys a follow. If you're into modifying cars, give them a follow. There's a lot of talk about suspension and air ride and wheels and so on. Now, steering wheel, like many 355 owners, I detest this steering wheel with the airbag. If you're lucky enough to have an early 355, I think a 94 or 95 car, really early car, you got the pre-airbag steering wheel, and that is the best steering wheel to have. However, those are now exchanging hands for £2,000, £3,000 I've even heard. So trying to get hold of one of those is extremely difficult. It's like needle in a haystack. So I'm going to probably change the steering wheel to a Momo. I'll either go for the Mod .07 or the Monte Carlo. I'm actually swaying towards a Monte Carlo. That I'm going to do like straight away. That'll really help with the driving experience and actually the look of the car. And then we've got to look at suspension. I'm on a WhatsApp group of 355 owners. Some of them have already upgraded to KW suspension, and that is an option for us here at CAS. I have access to KW through our business account. However, I might go with air ride using a mixture of airlift and X-Low suspension. And that's not just to slam the car so it sits on the floor. That's not the look I'm looking for here. It's more so to allow me to drive the car a little bit lower without crashing about everywhere. And if we hit a speed bump, then I can raise the car and so on. So it's the best of both worlds. I don't want to use stretchy rubber. I don't want to use skinny tires. I want the right wheel and tire package. We're going to upgrade the wheels as well. So that'll be a separate episode, guys. And some of you purists are thinking, what? Air ride on a 355? Well, we've installed air ride on, I believe, 4 355s in the UK, and every one of those drive phenomenally well, better than the stock suspension. I've driven a 355 on coilovers, very good, very compliant. Found it a little bit harsh, and obviously you can't drive as low because the sump in these cars does sit quite low, and you'll catch the front nose as well. So that's definitely on the car, changing suspension. Car does need some paint. There's a little bit of blistering in the most common areas around the buttresses and around the wings. I do have 2 new wings for the front, so that's something also that I'm probably going to look to tackle over winter. So yeah, this, although I've finished for now, we are going to come back to the 355 in about a month or so when we start doing the audio and so on. So don't think that's it for the 355. But next up on the channel, now previous episodes you would have seen that my E30 M3 convertible went to my friend Bob at Auto Body Technique for a complete bare metal respray. Car's finished, it's back with me, so there'll be a video coming up very soon showing how great that car looks and how fantastic Bob's paintwork finish is. We've got to put that car together and get it through an MOT. Just managed to get allocation of a brand new 992.2 GT3 at High Wycombe Porsche. So we're going to do a spec video that'll be coming on the channel soon, where I'll go over there and we'll spec the car and show you what I've gone for. And finally, my red 964 C2 in Guards Red, which you would have seen on the channel previously. That car's now been sold, and I've actually put the money into another project. And I've got to say, this car that I've bought is one crazy car. It's a barn find. If you're a petrolhead, you're going to love that, because that is one very special car. So guys, there's a lot more content coming on the channel. E30 M3, 992.2 GT3, spec video, and then finally we're gonna showcase and reveal to you this latest barn find. Thanks for watching, guys. You know what you need to do now. Smash the like button. Let me know what you think of the 355. Let me know what you think of the exhaust setup. I love it. I absolutely love it. Let me know what you think about my suspension upgrades. I know some of the purists won't like it, and I know some of you might be cringing at that thought, but hopefully I can change your views and opinions on air ride suspension. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you smash the like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. There's a lot of cool content coming your way, and I will see you on the next one. Thanks for watching.